Beach Up Sunset World.
Sushi?
Sumo? Tokushima!
この番組は地域密着型のボランティア活動を徳島で行っている国際ワークキャンプのメンバーがお届けする30分です。
This 30 minutes broadcast is hosted by volunteer members who come from abroad to help the community of Tokushima.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the host for this evening. I'm Rina from Japan. This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is live on FM Bizan. This 30 minutes broadcast is operated by non-profit organization Bizan Daigaku. Bizan Daigaku has been trying to make Tokushima a more attractive place with volunteers from Tokushima and outside Tokushima, including people from many different countries. Popular images of Japan, sushi and sumo? Yes, but we would like people around the world to know not only those images, but more things about Japan. We share the news from Japan and information about Tokushima, a place that welcomes foreigners from all over the world. We will also invite guests from overseas online to share the latest news with you. No one knows who will be talking or what kind of topics we will bring up. Don't miss it.
Sushi?
Sumo? Tokushima!
Hello, everyone. This is Rina. I have the guest. He's my friend from the United States of America, and he lives in Japan now.
Hello. My name is Adrian Warlick. I'm from California. In the United States.
Adrian from California, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. And actually, he has been on a this radio show before, back in 2018, right?
Yep. Yep.
So actually, Adrian came to Tokushima before as a volunteer to help the championship of wakeboard. So he came to Tokushima City and also went to Miyoshi City to help the event as a volunteer. Do you remember about volunteering in Tokushima, Adrian?
Yeah, that was a really fun time. That was a really good experience. At that time, I was not living in Japan. I was doing a 3-month trip around Japan. So kind of backpacking, staying in hostels, volunteering in other places, staying at friends' houses, just checking out Japan.
Yeah. But it was not your first time to come to Japan.
No.
Right?
No, I was the year before that, in 2017, I studied abroad in Tokyo at ICU, International Christian University in Mitaka. And since I was a study abroad student, all I was doing was studying and
of course,
but trying to have as much fun as possible. But being a student, I felt like I couldn't really experience like Japan. I felt very concerned with my studies. So that's why in 2018, I decided to go Japan just to travel for 3 months.
So how did you feel when you came back to Japan after being a student, but not as a student at that time?
So what was very strange was, especially for study abroad students, whenever they go abroad, everyone's always talking about homesickness.
Yeah.
And I never really got homesickness besides I missed eating Mexican food and eating very cheap fruits.
Wow.
And, coming to Japan was the first time I saw a $60 or 6,000 yen watermelon. And I was like, what is this? But I didn't get too much culture shock. It was just very good time in Japan. I felt very chilled out. But I got what they call reverse culture shock. I went back to America and I was like, oh, whoa, wow, things are really different here. And that whole time, about 6 months when I was back in the US, I was like, the whole time I was just thinking, oh, I want to go back to Japan. I want to eat I just want some ramen right now. I want some really good sushi. So coming back to Japan after the reverse culture shock, I just felt, I don't know, I felt like I could just, when I came back, I felt very comfortable and, in a strange sense, at home in a way, but just very, felt very good to come back.
So what did you miss the most after you went back to California? Maybe besides food?
Food, public transit. Just whenever, anywhere I'd go in Japan, people are just very like, it's really strange. People in Japan are like shy at first when you first meet them. But once you start talking to people, you like could become like really good friends with them almost immediately. And that was like really fun, just going to random places and like getting to know people and also using Japanese. I like trying to think in a different language or speak in a different language. So yeah. And
your Japanese is really good.
I hope so.
Yes, because when you send a message to the NPO, I opened the message. Oh, actually, Shinri-san opened the message and he showed it to me. And I was so surprised because it was so like professional Japanese written by someone from the United States.
Super Keigo.
Super Keigo. Doesn't look like a Japanese person, but like really professional Japanese written on that message. And and when I met you, of course your Japanese is good, but also you're so like, I don't know if I can say this, you're so American or Californian.
America, California.
So it was funny in a good way. So I want to ask you, you live in Nara prefecture now, right?
Yeah.
And it's not in a center of a city, but kind of suburbs, like countryside.
Yeah. So when you say Nara, people think, deers and shikasenbei and and what's the big Buddha statue called? Daibutsu-san? But I live way south from there. I live about an hour and a half.
By car?
By train. By car, it's about an hour. By train or by car, maybe a little bit more than an hour. So I live in a place called Yoshino. It's really famous for the cherry blossoms.
Sakura.
And so I'm at the base of this huge mountain range, kind of near Totsukawa Mura, Totsukawa village. And so it's very Inaka out here. It's kind of like Miyoshishi, actually. There is a Yoshinogawa as we're just like Miyoshi.
And a lot of trees and like birds, like beautiful nature around.
Yeah, this area has a history of lumber. And so there's just sugi everywhere. Sequoia, Japanese redwood, is just everywhere. There's rice paddies everywhere. There's no laws in the roads, so you have these Gigi in their little K truck, zipping down the road. It's a free for all out here, but it's just green. And beautiful water as well. Absolutely gorgeous.
Sounds great. So it must be so different from your everyday life when you're in Tokyo and your life in Nara. How would you describe the life in Nara compared to the life in Tokyo?
Well, Tokyo is like just one of the most crazy places on the planet because I'm from California, and the population of California is about, I think now it's 38 million, almost 40 million people. But all of the whole metropolitan of Tokyo is about 30 million people.
Yeah.
So you have all the people, like if you want to make numbers comparison, it's like if you took all of California and you put them in an area of Los Angeles. And so going to Tokyo was like really overwhelming for me as well, because I'm from Los Angeles. So I thought I knew how to deal with the city. I was like, yeah, I'm a city kid, you know, but totally different level. But then going to Nara and going to the town I live in now, I did not see one person for a whole entire month. Like when I would walk, I'd walk to school because I'm an English teacher now. So I'd walk to school, and then from school, I'd walk back home. And for the first month here, I did not meet a person.
One person, not even one person.
Not even one. Besides like the teachers, you know, I didn't see people in the streets and the roads because there's not a lot of people here. And and I don't know, things like in any Osaka, Tokyo, I mean, any like bigger town, city will have like, let's say a konbini. There's no konbini in this town. I have to go to another town over. No train station here. So it was it's a very different experience from the rest of, at least from the cities of Japan. Yeah. But it's very beautiful, like just walking around and just being surrounded by green. That's just a very good feeling as well. Yeah. So, or I can go to the river and have a campfire any day of the week. Yeah. So, so
that actually sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we would like to play one song. We'll be right back after a short break.
Peace.
We're back.
No.
So, Adrian, I would like to ask you that. So you came to Japan last year?
This time around 2019. So. Almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you have been teaching English in Nara. Yeah. But you told me that you are thinking to go on to a next step, right?
Yeah.
What are your plans?
Well, nothing is concrete, but I think I would like to go into maybe translation. I like reading Japanese novels and stuff like that. Wow. So I'm a kanji nerd. I'm a Japanese nerd. So I like to do that on my spare time. But what really inspired me to do, well, translation and interpretation, I don't know if I'm at the level for like a very serious like interpretation job, like in a business. But what really like triggered that idea, like, oh, maybe I do want to get into translation and interpretation, was actually my time in Miyoshishi when we did volunteering. And even though I wasn't exactly interpretation staff, it was like really fun being able to utilize my Japanese to help the locals when, you know, there's these Australians like lost in Miyoshishi and they're like, oh my God, like, what do we do? And I was like, I got you. Like, and so being able to help out and being that like hub for that cultural exchange was really like gratifying in a way, but also really, really fun. Even my time abroad, or even in my time as an English teacher, when there's other foreigners from, you know, different countries who don't speak Japanese, and I'm able to help them. So that's kind of like why I'm thinking about going into that direction of more international relations sort of kind of field.
Yeah, that's something you can do great, and also you can help people and you understand their feelings and their struggles. as well, right? Mm.
Yes, the Lost Gaijin. It's
In Japan.
in Japan.
Mm. Yeah, well, yeah, that sounds great. And so maybe you can come back to Tokushima again.
Yeah,
Mm.
that could be very fun. Yeah, I do enjoy Tokushima a whole lot. It actually reminds me of where I went to college. I went to college in California, but I went up north in Santa Cruz, and like Tokushima has a lot of trees, but also has really beautiful beaches.
Yeah,
So being able to like go from the forest to like some place like Anna in Tokushima really reminds me of Santa Cruz, because Santa Cruz is very similar.
And you can do surfing there.
I'm not a good surfer. maybe I'll learn how to surf in Tokushima.
Yeah, maybe you can do it.
Yeah.
And you actually went back to Tokushima, right? Last year, I think.
Yeah, last year during Obon, during the Obon holiday, I went to Tokushima for 2 days. I hiked Tsurugi-san, Mount Tsurugi.
Yeah.
And the first night I had driven to Tokushima. I got there a little late.
Yeah.
And so I didn't make a reservation at a hotel. I have a backpacking tent, so just my backpack, and where was it? I think it was Suwa Park. I just threw my tent up in there.
Yeah.
And about 5 or 6 in the morning, they had the Rajio Taiso.
Healthy morning.
It was a good morning. But yeah, I saw my first monkey in Japan. In Tokushima.
The wild monkey?
Yeah. I was very surprised. But yeah, it's a very good place. I don't know why I like Shikoku.
Yeah, I think, I'm from Shikoku. I mean, I'm from Kagawa Prefecture, and I lived in Tokushima for almost 4 years. And I think people there are friendly and I think easygoing.
Very, very, very easygoing. Yeah. Yeah. People are more like, they're more, when they like meet someone from abroad, I feel like they're more curious rather than reserved.
Okay.
So I remember going into an izakaya, and this drunk fisherman started like saying all this stuff at me, and at first I didn't know what he was saying, but in Japanese, yeah. But he taught me how to with chopsticks how to remove the bones out of the fish. He's like, "Oh, this is the fish I caught. You should try it, and let me show you the way." And out of the blue, just and that was a really good experience. And now I know how to eat fish with chopsticks.
Oh yeah, really? Maybe you're better than me. I'm really bad at doing it. So communicating with local people, and especially when it's the language of theirs. So in this case, it's Japanese, and you understand Japanese, and also I think people in countryside might talk in dialogue.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. The dialects change like so much, even in Nara. Even it's Kansai Ben, but then there's different dialects, and from one town to the next. Like over this hill, they speak another thing, and so when I went to Tokushima, I wasn't even familiar with Kansai dialect all that much at the time. But then going to Tokushima, and the older people would speak Awa dialect. And wow, that was
wasn't it hard for you? Maybe
it was. That's where hand gestures come into a lot of play.
Okay.
Sometimes you hear something similar, you're like, I know.
Okay.
Or you start making inferences. I know this word should maybe be here, but sometimes there's just no chance. I don't know. Gigi, what are you saying, bro?
Gigi. But somehow you can communicate with them, right? And I'm pretty sure that they enjoy talking with you and like happy to meet you and everything. Yeah, so yeah, and I heard that you're going to study more Japanese and take the exam. So good luck with it.
Yes. Maybe next year I'll pass. I'm studying for N1 next year.
N1, the hardest one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can do it, Adrian.
Thank you.
Yeah, and living in Japan and maybe working in Japan, if you have certain level of Japanese, and especially when you have a certificate like N1 and 2 would make it easier for you. I'm sure that it can help you.
Yeah, when I got my N2 certificate, there was a big I don't know, I felt a big sense of accomplishment because I did try really hard studying. So
I think it's not that easy. I'm not sure if I can pass it.
It's all about knowing how to take the test, I guess.
The technique also.
I was very bad at tests in high school and college. I was I was not a good student before college, and then but through college I got very inspired to study, especially with things like Japanese or linguistics as well, which I studied, or even music. You find your passions, and when you find what you want to do, it's really, it's still hard, but it doesn't seem as how do you say, grueling. It's very rewarding.
Yeah. Thank you for your great message. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems we have almost reached the end of the program. Thank you, Adrian, for coming back to the show. And we will be waiting for you in Tokushima.
I look forward to going back.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to the show tonight. We are waiting for messages from you with feedback or request. Sushi,
Sumo, Tokushima!
This radio program, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, is being recorded here on Bizan FM in Tokushima. This program is operated by non-profit organization Bizan Daikaku. We are open to and accepting any forms of support or contributions you have to offer within the local community of Tokushima. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish to get involved by emailing radio@bizandaigaku.net. We are accepting requests and messages via email. Please send emails to request@bfm.jp, request@bfm.jp, including the title of the show, Sushi, Sumo, Tokushima, in your messages. You can listen to this channel, FM Bizan, on the internet with your PC, smartphones, and tablets. If you are accessing with your PC, go to the website www.bfm.jp and you will find a banner written Listen Radio on the right side of the page. If you are accessing with your smartphone or tablet, download the application Listen Radio. Then select BFM 791 FM Bizan with the area Chugoku Shikoku. If you are listening to this radio in the area where has a weak radio wave, don't worry. You can listen to programs with clear sound through this internet radio system. No one knows who will be talking or what kind of topics we will bring up next Thursday. Don't miss it. See you next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Bye bye.